Hey guys, good evening and welcome to the big debate. Today, Sunday, 23rd of January 2022. We are going to continue our discussions on the ongoing African Cup of Nations taking place in Cameroon. So far, we have 38 games which have been played. We have a total of 71 goals and excluding penalties. At this stage, from today, we started with the knockout stages, the round of 16, and we had two outstanding, very, very interesting games, which we will be discussing today. With me today in the studios to do his post-match analysis and pre-match analysis of the next group games, which will be starting tomorrow. So that's going to be the game between Cameroon and Comoros. Is our legendary Tru3Lion. So we always love his insight. So good evening, Tru3Lion, and welcome to the big debate.
Good evening, and thank you for having me, Dr. T.
Yeah, so today we are having a live session, so people may be asking some questions. It's rather unfortunate that we shared it a little bit late, but if anyone poses a question in the comment section, we will respond to them later. So it's always a pleasure having you here, and thank you for creating time to join us at a big debate to discuss football, because I know you love football and football is Tru3Lion.
Oh, yes, of course. It's always a pleasure to talk about the beautiful game, and especially we had some exciting games today. And tomorrow, Cameroon is also playing, so that's gonna be good football to watch.
Yeah, so yesterday we discussed the preview of the games today. Today, the round of 16, the knockout stages of the competition. Usually, people always say football in every competition always starts in the knockout stages. It seems as if that is what happened. So, two games took today. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching the big debate. We had two games today which took place in the knockout stages. The first game was between Burkina Faso and Gabon, which took place in Limbe. It was a tie. It went to extra time, and Burkina Faso eventually emerged as a victor. The second game took place in Garoua between Nigeria and Tunisia. Recall that Nigeria won all its three games in its group stages, scoring, I believe, 9 goals. Tunisia barely made it through the group stages. And so this was thought to be a game of an elephant versus an ant. But we are going to make to discuss the analysis of this game. But before we go to that game, Tru3Lion, what is your overall overview, or please summarize the game between Burkina Faso and Gabon?
Yeah, the game between Burkina Faso and Gabon, I think I expected Burkina Faso to go through. However, Gabon proved to be a very tough opponent. And I like the way they came out. They had no fear, no complex. They played their ball, and I was a little bit disappointed with the refereeing because
Mhm.
an a penalty was awarded actually to Burkina Faso, and I'm not even sure why it did not go to VAR, or because when you looked at the foul, okay, there
Yes.
was no contact. I mean, that's not a penalty, and
Yeah,
that's what.
I didn't look at the foul. I was watching the game with somebody. I play football, very low grade football. And like as a defender, that is something he went to the tackle. The guy had crossed the ball. I mean, there was no way you could avoid the contact. So I didn't even think it was a foul, let alone a penalty.
No, I mean there was no contact. The only thing he did is he actually held the guy in his arm, so there was no contact beneath. I mean, like foot contact. There was no type of contact, and he said the ball had been released. The guy had already
Yes.
crossed the ball. So when the ref just awarded, and I did not see him go maybe to have a look. I don't know if he had that opportunity since they were playing, but that's not a penalty, and that's not what VAR is actually for, because the ref is supposed to go look at it and then make a decision,
Make a
especially
decision.
for games of this high magnitude. However, fortunately, it hit the crossbar, and they did not score from that. From that, but
Yeah.
again, but again, you saw a well-organized Gabonese team that came out and played beautiful football. Unfortunately, they were not clinical enough. And had they had Obama Yang, I keep talking about this guy, although he was not involved in the games, but I'm so disappointed with his professionalism, because what if you have an option like him? I know he had a COVID and all that, but we've seen players
Mhm.
that had COVID, then they recover and come and play. So, but I think it was a disciplinary issue where he was sent home. Then you see, we've been talking about Traore. You saw what
Yeah.
the Burkina
So
Faso did.
before you go to Traore, of course, he scored the goal. I know you are going to talk about the goal. So maybe you talk about Traore because I have a very interesting question or opinion about the goal that Traore scored.
Okay.
Yeah. So you mentioned a few minutes ago that Gabon was very, very organized. Personally, I do think the goal that Gabon conceded was a stupid goalkeeping mistake. The goal was like it was miles out of the ball was midway between the center line and the 18 line. So what was the goal? The goalkeeper was like in no man's land. What was he doing there?
Yeah, actually, and we've been talking how essential goalkeeping is, and the Gabonese goalkeeper, unfortunately, he's not one of the top goalkeepers, but sometimes it comes down to goalkeeping, and today it came down to goalkeeping, but also you see what Burkina Faso is doing. They defending and they hitting teams on the counter attack.
Yes,
They,
yeah,
they sacrificed Traore to play up front because they knew that what's the guy's name? The guy who plays is it Bayer Leverkusen?
Manga. Oh, okay. Tapsoba.
Tapsoba was actually put on the bench, right? Was that him?
Yes,
Or yeah, I mean, he has been disappointed. So they put Traore up front and they sacrificed their midfield because Traore was the one basically like in the first game against
yes, yeah,
Cameroon, organizing in the midfield. So Gabon dominated that midfield, but the mistake Gabon made is that when you attack all the time and you don't score, you are vulnerable,
yes.
right? And they were vulnerable, and there was a lot of space, and that's why Burkina Faso actually scored that goal.
Yeah, Burkina
However,
Faso scored.
fortunately,
Yeah, yeah. You go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
However, fortunately for them, or unfortunately for them, they went down 10 men. You know,
Yes.
again, the ref, man, sometimes you just have to judge because yes, it was a foul, he hit the guy, but keep in mind that's another yellow card. So the ref could have made a better judgment. However, Gabon went ahead and equalized an own goal, and then he went to penalty kicks. And penalty kicks,
Penalties. Yeah.
anybody can win.
And penalty kicks. It just seems as if today was not Gabon's day because like each time they miss, Burkina Faso miss. Each time they miss, Burkina Faso miss. So eventually, like it just the guy hit the post. I think the last Gabonese player hit the post around the 90 degrees angle of the post, and then finally
Exactly.
Burkina Faso. Yeah. So at that
Exactly.
point, when it goes to penalty, yeah, so it becomes yeah, the the team that scores eventually won. But I think like you had hoped and mentioned yesterday, you thought Burkina Faso will progress, but from the game, it seems as if Gabon gave them a run for their money.
Oh yes, Gabon was the better side, and unfortunately, the better side when it went home.
Okay, so that's interesting. So Burkina Faso progress. The other game that took place today is the game between the team that most people, including myself, yesterday, and I believe the entire world thought is the favorite to win this competition. So it's a game between Nigeria and Tunisia. So people should know that Nigeria had won all of its three. They won one of the favorites of this competition, Egypt, in the opening fixture. They dominated the game. They outplayed Egypt and then won the other two games. The last game, I think they won by 3 goals to 0. So they scored 9 goals, and I think they didn't even concede. So everyone knew that Nigeria was going to win. And then it was against a North African side, Tunisian side, that we all thought like usually when Tunisia comes to competition, when they meet like some of those giants of sub-Saharan Africa, it's always a very tough opponent because of the physicality. So give me a rundown of the tactics and how Tunisia eventually emerged victorious.
Actually, sometimes in football it's hard to predict what happens because it's a game. You can analyze the game, but then the 22 actors have to actually execute on the field. I think Tunisia came out with the better tactics. What they did is they knew Nigeria was very dangerous on the wings, so they actually had to shut Chukwueze and Moses Simon, and that's what they did perfectly. Shutting down those two wingers meant that Nigeria had to go down the middle. But unfortunately, Nigeria didn't have the players to execute. So that's what
So
happened.
Nigeria
And again,
have from what we've noticed in the past games is that Nigeria have two exit points. You have Chukwueze on the right and Moses Simon, who to me until before today has been the offensive player of the tournament. So how did Tunisia shut down these two guys?
Tunisia actually played double team. They played in a 4-3-3 formation to start with, and they had remember their number was that number 19,
Yes,
Rafia, something like that, and who was on the right. So he was actually falling back to help. Actually the right back for Tunisia, and that's where that's I think that's the wing where was it where Moses Simon was playing, and
Moses
then
Simon.
on
Yeah,
the other
Simon
side
Moses.
they
Yeah.
also had a double. So exactly. And what Nigeria failed to do, as opposed to what they did against Egypt, is that they failed to shut Tunisia from the back. When Tunisia had to pass the ball from the back, Tunisia was doing that successfully. When Tunisia had to go long, Tunisia was doing that successfully. So Tunisia
So
actually came
Tunisia
out
were just like
the
comfortable
better
because
team.
Tunisia eventually in the early when the game started early on in the game, Nigeria had a few chances. So you thought that, oh yeah, Nigeria will probably go, but like after like 10, 15 minutes, it seems as if Tunisia adapted comfortably and started playing their own game instead of playing Nigeria's game.
Yes, of course, it's like la petite vie à manger, comme on dit en français. As the game progressed, Tunisia became comfortable because Nigeria was not as aggressive. Tunisia was the one winning the second balls, and they were
Mm-hmm.
physical. That's something that actually surprised me because I watched some other games of Tunisia and I did not see that physicality. And I did not see how they're not a good scoring team. Don't get me wrong, but
Yes.
they
Yeah.
defended really well.
Yeah.
Tunisia
Yeah. The
defended
channel
really
that I
well.
watched the game, the commentators always said that like Tunisia might not score you many goals, but don't let them score you.
Exactly, exactly. And we saw that today. But what Nigeria, because remember we talked about before this tournament, we talked about the preview, and I said Nigeria made a mistake to be bringing a coach less than a month into the
Yeah,
tournament.
a month to the
You
competition.
sacking
So
your
it
coach
seems
and
as
bringing
if
in a new coach.
yeah, despite Nigeria's outstanding performances in the group stages, you seem to have been vindicated here because you had mentioned in the preview of the tournament that as good as Nigeria might be on paper, the coach is going to be the failure. So from all analysis and everyone out there commenting, it seems as if it was the failure of the coach to adapt to the Tunisians shutting down the two sides.
Yeah, I think it was a very better tactical approach from the Tunisians because I think they watched lots of video about Nigeria. They had no complex and they knew what they were going to come and do against Nigeria. On the other side, Nigeria actually failed because I cannot blame their coach like 100%. But I would say that when you hire a guy who doesn't have history with the players and he comes in, when his plan A fails, he basically gets confused. He doesn't have a plan B. Because in my case, maybe I would have gone with the three at the back. I mean, after the first half, after Nigeria realized that it was becoming difficult for them, go with three at the back because they have good defenders, right? Go with three
Mm-hmm.
at the back, play with some wing backs, and have more men in the midfield. Because their
Yeah.
problem was like breaking defensive lines of Tunisia. What about Ndidi even? Let Ndidi play a little bit high because Ndidi is one that can hold the ball with real good confidence. But
Yeah, and
the
given
whole
that,
first half, I
Moses Simon and Chukwueze were double marked, that probably would have given them more space in the middle if you loaded the midfield.
yes, actually, because what Nigeria needed to do is like fine. Because even when I saw their tension when he was playing, he was coming deep. Yes, I know he was playing close to Didi, but sometimes you needed someone to break that high defensive line of Tunisia
Yeah.
and play in between, like, let's say, the midfield and their defense, make them a little bit uncomfortable. But even when this guy came in, because and you what's the guy who plays for Everton, even when he
Alex
came in,
Iwobi. Yeah, many
yeah,
think that the red card to Iwobi firstly was unfair, but that let's not talk about a red card now, but that if a Wobby had started the game or if they had a Wobby, the performance Nigeria would have played better.
No, I think there's no way Iwobi would have started this game because those who have played ahead of him were doing good. But also in the second half, when you have to make a change, bring him a little bit earlier and do things differently, where you will have the Tunisians second doubt themselves. But that did not actually happen. And unfortunately for him, he was given a red card. But when you look at this, I want to talk about that red card incident because a lot of people are getting this misconstrued, right? When
Yes.
you see what he did, he covered the ball. He played the ball first before his feet actually got contact with that player. And watch football, even when the goalkeeper comes out, when he plays the ball first
The
and he
ball
doesn't
before it
endanger
touches the
the other
player.
player.
Yeah.
You can touch the other player because this is a contact sport.
Yes.
Exactly. This is a contact sport. So I don't know why the ref will go and look at VAR and decide that that's a red card. But let's get things straight, right? That's not the reason why Nigeria lost. Because me, I personally believe that even if Iwobi was in that field, there was no way Nigeria was going to break that Tunisia. Of course, let's give credit where it's due. Let's give credit where it's due because Nigeria has this player, right? I followed some of their outlets, news outlets, and all that, and a lot of fans have been giving
Stick.
Sadiq
Yes.
stick because of the way he had an opportunity to finish. Because in games like this, you have one or two
Yeah.
opportunities, and that was all Tunisia had. And goalkeeping, I've been talking about goalkeeping. Although some would say yes, the ball was in traffic and the goalkeeper saw it late. Had he put a stronger hand on that ball, you should not be considering, conceiving those type of goals. So I think the better side, although I picked Nigeria to win this game, but again, that's football. They lost.
Okay, yeah. I also picked Nigeria. I thought they would win. Yesterday I said like I always pick the wrong team and they always lost, but I was very, very confident Nigeria was going to win. So at the end of the day, Nigeria lost. So Burkina Faso and Gabon drew 1-1. Eventually Burkina Faso emerged and then Tunisia won 1-0. So Tunisia and Burkina Faso have progressed to the next round and they will be playing each other on the 26th of January. So let's take a short break through Lion, and then we will come back. In the meantime, I'm going to give you guys a brief interlude of music here. So this is for entertainment purposes. This is Blind Billy and Buri. So this is the big debate doesn't own the rights to this music. We are playing it for entertainment purposes. And if you are watching the big debate with me here in the studio and Tru3Lion, I'm giving Tru3Lion a small break because next minute we are coming back. We'll be discussing about the game, the preview of the Cameroon and Burkina Faso and Comoros game tomorrow, as well as Guinea and Gambia. Anything you want, if you are watching, we don't own the rights to this song. It's played for entertainment purposes. It's like Buri and Blanche Billy, two outstanding Cameroonian artists. So Tru3Lion will go back and continue where we ended to proceed with our discussions on the ongoing African Cup of Nations. Tomorrow, let's discuss about the preview of tomorrow's game. So tomorrow, the second knockout games will be taking place. So the games between Cameroon and Comoros will take place in Yaoundé. That will be the second game, but the first game will be between Guinea and Gambia. So we'll talk a little bit on the Guinea game, but let's talk about the Cameroon game because we are from Cameroon. This platform is a big debate Cameroon, and also the competition is taking place in Cameroon. So what do you think about the game tomorrow? Give me a preview and what do you think Cameroon will do tomorrow?
Oh yeah, unfortunately for the Comoros, they have the corona. I think 5 or 6 players. I'm not sure. Have
Yeah, I
contracted the
heard about
virus, which is
7
not
of
good.
them. So
And
they
I
have
think
like
they will.
yeah, they have like around 2 of their goalkeepers are COVID infected, and one of them is injured. So they have like 13 fit players without if a goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's gonna be very difficult for them because even with those players, I still thought that Cameroon has an advantage in this game. And but Cameroon should respect the opponent. And when I say respect the opponent, is you have to come out and play as if you are playing a team because they earn the right to go to the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
round, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation. You don't want to put yourself in a situation like Ghana did, like
Hmm.
Nigeria did, because what if you go into this game and your lags and you concede an early goal,
Yeah,
or
like Ghana
you
considered
pick
at the
up a red
fourth
card,
minute.
exactly, and you pick up a red card, then you start struggling. So you have to show respect for the opponent. You have to come and play as if you know you guys were on the same level. If they show respect for the opponent, I think Cameroon won this one easily.
Okay, so what do you think? How do you think the coach is going to play? It's been quite interesting because Cameroon played 3 games. The Cameroon coach did not play with the same players in all 3 games. He made like sometimes 4 substitutions, sometimes maybe tactical changes.
Yeah, I, yeah, I think he's been. He already has in his mind the players that maybe will represent him. If I mean, in a game like the one tomorrow, and I think he will play his strongest team. However, I think Chupo Muting will start because
Yeah.
Cameroon needs creativity. If you fit the beast
Hmm.
up front,
That's what I thought as well.
Abubakar
Yeah.
is gonna score. Yes, Abubakar is gonna score those goals. The problem and what Cameroon needs to do is that they need to fix that defense. I want to
Yeah.
see a better defense
Yeah.
tomorrow. I want to see a better midfield. I want to see a better Anguissa. I want to see a more serious Onana. And if they do all that, it's gonna be easy one for Cameroon.
So what do you think is Cameroon's problem at the defense? Because like everyone I talk to, they always say I want to see a better defense, a better defense, a better defense. So what is Cameroon's problem at the defense?
Okay. First, maybe yes. First, maybe some fans wouldn't like me saying this, but I don't think they have a. Let me say, I don't think they have the right defenders playing the type of tactical game that the coach wants to play. I also think that Ngadu is not having his best Nations Cup because he is sometimes out of position. So I think they have a communication problem. They have a problem communicating. And I don't also think that Fai is actually doing a good job on the right hand side. When you see Cameroon play, they want Toro to go all up high a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want Tolo to go up high a lot, it means that position, that left back position when Cholo goes up high.
Yeah.
But they are not doing that, and we've seen Cameroon in bad lineups because when you're defending, when you have a back line of four, okay, if you decide to go up high, everybody has to be moving at one time.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do a back of four and you have your left back, he's at the midfield. Your one of your central defenders is about 5 steps behind him. Then the other central defender is about 6 7 steps behind, and then five is lagging behind. You cannot defend like that. In the game of today, you cannot defend like that. The midfielders will pick up their strikers easily if you defend like that. So I want to see a Cameroonian team, regardless of who they're playing today, tomorrow. I want to see a
Tomorrow, yeah.
better defense, yeah, better communication, between that defense. Because when you lose the ball up high and your defenders are there strolling, you will be punished.
Yeah. So you think the grouping the defenders are not grouping well. So whose role is this? Shouldn't there be a coordinator? at the defense, who in principle usually is like the central defender?
Oh yes, it's Ngado. Ngado is the one. He's the most experienced player in that defense. He's won an African Nations Cup before with Kulu to his side, and I've forgotten the other guy who used to play. So he
Tunku,
has that experience. He should be the one could do. Thank you
Tunku
exactly.
and
But
Fry
also
and Fry.
exactly. But also Anguissa should do his job. He's not doing his job. He's playing as if he's in his living room. So that's also a big problem.
Okay, so any prognostication of the results for tomorrow between Cameroon and Comoros?
Yeah, I think Cameroon will go in and score two early goals. I mean, in the first half, two early goals. Then after that, you can. So I think it's gonna be easy one. It's gonna be at least 2-0, at least.
Okay, who do you think will score? I will ask you some more tricky questions here.
Abubakar Abubakar will score. Abubakar will score tomorrow. I think also Toko Ekambi. I think Cameroon has the best strike force in this Nations Cup, and I think Abubakar. I've seen the other strikers. I'm talking about just the Nations Cup. I think Abubakar
Yes,
is
yes, yeah, yeah,
someone that's
yeah.
very, very difficult to stop.
Okay, great. I also think Abubakar will score, but I think like you mentioned, Toko Ekambi, and maybe the game that Ngamelu will place on the right side might show up, and then the other game you can just talk maybe briefly about the Guinea and Gambia game. That game is taking place in Bafoussam. The Cameroon game will be taking place in Olembe because Cameroon won the group. Then the Guinea Gambia game will be taking place in Bafoussam.
Yes, I actually favor Guinea. I favor Guinea for this game. I know Gambia has also have been playing some good football, but I think Guinea has more experience. But
Mm-hmm.
there is no small team, as we have seen. There's no small team in this Nations Cup. There's no small
Yeah.
team, and they have nothing to lose. So I expect to be almost like the same. But if I had to pick a team, I'll pick Guinea to go through.
Yeah, I think Guinea actually had one of the best young players so far in the tournament. But Gambia has been one of the surprise packages. Like Gambia together with Comoros, they are the two teams which this is the first time they are qualifying for the African Nations Cup. And here they are in the round of 16, while teams like Algeria and Ghana are home. So you never know what would happen. But if I'm going to pick a team as well, I'm going to go with Tru3Lion. So I
Yes,
also
and
think it's Guinea's game to lose. Like you never know in this competition. We are not always right because we are just saying what we think. The results always are in the field.
yes, and it's all about experience too, right? If you
Yeah.
come out, you keep your discipline, you have good tactics, you can always try to frustrate your opponent, and you can just wish that. But I just hope that tomorrow the referees get better. I would say this: the ref for the Nigeria Tunisia game was actually good, but the only mistake that I saw that he made was that mistake of the red card. Meanwhile, the
Okay. Thank
ref
you very
for the
much.
Gabon
Yeah.
game, he was very bad.
Okay, great. Thank you very, very much, Tru3Lion. It was a pleasure having you and discussing football. Always a pleasure having you. Thank you for always creating time. And for everyone out there, thank you for watching. Please share the video. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and we look forward to having you here again tomorrow for the post-match analysis of the game between Cameroon and Comoros, as well as the game between Guinea and Gambia. So good evening, Tru3Lion, and thank you for having you.
Okay, thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day, sir.
Yeah, so catch you tomorrow, Tru3Lion. Good evening, everyone, and see you guys tomorrow. Hang on there because Tru3Lion is going to give you the post-match analysis of the Cameroon and Comoros game.
Thank you, Dr. T.